Invasive alien species are defined as organisms that are not native to the environment in which they are inhabiting. They are large in abundance and are present all around us, with over 6,500 in just the US alone. Species can become invasive in many different ways, by migrating from their homeland to new territory, being transported by humans through illegal aquatic trade, which is specific to marine life, and more. Although not all invasive species are harmful, disrupting a well-functioning ecosystem with an abundance of new, foreign life can have lasting impacts. Specifically, there are 3 areas to worry about: provisioning services, which includes food, water, and timber; regulating services, including climate regulation, food control, spread of disease, and pollination methods; and cultural services, including recreational activities, tourism, spirituality, and cultural norms. These collectively can have both negative, positive, and financial impacts on the world around us. Both the positives and negatives of invasive species will be further explored throughout this presentation.
Although we often hear about the negative effects of invasive species, there are many benefits as well. Some examples of these benefits include non-invasive Apis mellifera or western honeybees are beneficial in areas where the native populations are scarce, contributing an estimated $14.8 billion in services in the U.S. alone. Zebra mussels purify the water in the Great Lakes extremely well. The kudzu plant is phenomenal at stabilizing soil and preventing erosion. And according to our reading, Invasive Species, Ecosystem Services, and Human Well-Being, invasive species play a role in inspiration, spirituality, religion, ceremony, and tradition.
Invasive species are known to also have a negative impact in many areas. Some invasive plants may have been found to actually use up more carbon than the native species they've displaced, possibly contributing to global warming. An overabundance of invasive plants may overtake urban areas, causing damage to buildings and crowding rivers, leading to higher flood levels, soil erosion, more turbid water, and the displacement of native species. Also, some invasive plants may also be the perfect breeding grounds and habitats for other disease-carrying organisms, such as the invasive mosquito species shown on the right that have been known to spread yellow fever throughout America and Asia. The northward movement of hybridized African and European killer bees that are very aggressive in nature also pose a serious threat to human health and safety. The introduction of Eurasian water milfoil into Lake Tahoe is predicted to impact the recreational fishing revenue by 1% or $500,000 per year. An invasive species of fire ant coming up from South America has already cost billions of dollars in medical treatment for stings. And golden apple snails in Southeast Asia devour rice seedlings, leading to an annual loss of approximately $425 million to $1.2 billion in the rice farming industry. And zebra mussels in the Great Lakes often ruin boats, clog water treatment tools and facilities, as shown on the left, and make drinking water taste unpleasant, costing private residents approximately $660 per year in maintenance and prevention, and cost water treatment facilities approximately $700,000 a year in repairs and maintenance.
There are many ways to control invasive species and keep them contained in their environment. Here are a few ways how. Be sure to not plant invasive species and work to replace invasive species with native species. Clean boats and fishing gear before transporting to new bodies of water. Clean shoes, hiking gear, and pet paws before traveling to a new area in order to prevent spreading seedlings into new areas. Do not take firewood from one natural area to another area, and never release exotic animals into the wild.
To help lessen the effects of invasive species on the world around us, we must address all areas of IAS impact: cultural, financial, and social. To do this, we must better understand how and why invasive species travel and operate, with an overarching goal of preventing the initial spread of invasive species rather than dealing with post-invasive damage control. A primary factor in reaching this goal deals with further research and government regulation, which can lead to overall lower cost detriments, greater compliance of exotic animal travel laws, and higher habitat preservation, biodiversity, and overall quality of human life.
From all the information gathered about invasive species, the question is, where do we go from here? There are 6 focuses or directions that should be taken. The first 3 are provisioning services, regulating services, and predicting invasibility. The next 3 focuses or directions that should be included in future implications on invasive species are interactions between IAS and people, global trade and travel, and ecological effects.